One of the things that I find so compelling about the bioreplenishment technology is how it works. It's safe, natural, and effective. It's very much unlike that which has come before. I'll give you an example. When the traditional chemist was taking a look at a challenge, a health challenge, and trying to address it, they would take a cursory or a very superficial examination of the pathways involved. And they would say, oh, okay, the biochemical pathway leads like this. And what we don't want is this end product down here. So strategically what they did was they said, okay, if we can take out one of the stepping stones, if we can take out a piece of this pathway and disrupt it, then we never get to that unwanted endpoint. But that has a lot of negative implications. And that's why when you're watching television at night and you see pharmaceuticals come on and they're advertised and it's going to give you this benefit or that benefit, at the end they always have that very nice monotonic narrator come on and tell you all the bad things it does. And the reason is you can't go to a biochemical pathway. They're very complex and they're all intermingled. They're all interdependent. You can't simply disrupt. You can't simply cut out a pathway, a piece to that pathway, without causing adverse effects. The key benefits of OsteoDenx are twofold. One is to optimize the regulation of mineral withdrawal from your bone, which means the optimum utilization of the bone mass that has to be withdrawn on a daily basis to the tune of 1 gram to 1.5 grams of actual mass every day. And the other benefit is that it takes the available calcium and other minerals that you have in the system, transforms them in a unique way that only our bodies can do, and puts it back, builds back bone mass, so that it helps in a bone health sense to keep the balance between withdrawal of the necessary elements and replacement of those key elements as well to keep the bone mass stable.
Your intestinal tract requires approximately around 700 milligrams of calcium for intestinal tract not to collapse and remain as a intestinal lumen so that the food could pass. Similarly, every day you would require, as we call it as the recommended daily allowance or daily value, of about 100 to 150 milligrams for the liver to do its detoxification, about 100 milligrams for the kidneys to stay in their kidney bean shape and to filter all those toxic chemicals and to function. Similarly, the brain, for it to have those electric impulses, it requires approximately about 100 milligrams. Overall, the entire body requires, at an average, about 1200 milligram plus.
And what the bioreplenishment theory and what it does in reality and what OsteoDenx does is to take naturally occurring biochemicals that your body's already making but are in short supply and augments with that. So you're not taking in anything that isn't safe, that isn't natural, and that isn't effective. The result is total bone health with no downside.
And you will be surprised to know that in our life system, in our entire lifespan, by the age we hit our 70 years, our entire skeletal system is totally, completely replaced, at least 10 times. Almost 4 to 5 times the entire skeleton is replaced by the age we are 20.
This whole idea of calcium. I mean, I'll speak personally. I try to get calcium in my foods whenever I can. The juice that I drink in the morning is fortified with calcium. I try to eat vegetables that have calcium. I take a calcium supplement. But as we know, and the NIH and the studies and the literature bears this out, just taking calcium is not enough.
OsteoDenx does not contain any calcium. As I told, OsteoDenx is more of a bone health management system, and it helps to calcium and magnesium and other minerals to be absorbed better, to be managed better, to be transported in an efficient and effective manner to their target sites and make them bioavailable.
And so what the OsteoDenx will do is to take that calcium that you're taking in from the outside world, which you need to do, whether it's in your food or whether it's in a nutritional supplement that you're taking calcium, and it will make sure that the calcium gets transformed into a viable commodity that can then be put back on the bone. It will also make sure that you're taking out from this bone bank, from this calcium bank, from this mineral bank, that you're taking out at an optimum rate. When you look at how the bioreplenishment technology was developed, what you see is that it is not only safe and natural, but what it's doing is helping the body get back to a balance point that we were all in when we were much younger.
Actually, we can see the effect of optimizing or getting the full function of this bone formation and bone resorption through these markers within 2 weeks. You can see the difference. However, if you wanted to see the bone mass to be increased, for you to measure through an X-ray or a DEXA scan as we call it, it will take some amount of time. We have seen DEXA scans with improvement in 3 to 6 months period of time in individuals who took OsteoDenx.
When we were designing the clinical trial, the clinical study that we did for the OsteoDenx, it would have been very easy, and it would have been certainly a lot less investment if we had not run a sham control or a placebo control, as some people call it. We could have, in fact, just said, look, we're going to have a group of people, we're going to take a look at where they are with OsteoDenx, and we're going to take a look at people who don't use OsteoDenx. And in fact, what we did was instead, we're going to do a blinded study here where some people are going to get the OsteoDenx and other people are going to get a fake. And we did that even though we're taking serum and urine and analyzing these analytes. And you say, well, how could that be affected by the placebo effect? And the understanding is, you know what, if you can control for it, you should. And we did. And that shows the kind of scientific discipline that I think is exemplified by Dr. Naito and his team.
We saw some interesting positive benefits, such as individuals come and say that they don't have any more constipation. Their regularity, bowel movement has significantly been improved. Individuals come and say that now they don't need any sleeping aids.
We are now getting reports from the field that buttress what we already knew from the clinical study, that tell us that in fact the OsteoDenx is doing the things that it was designed to do, that it is going back and augmenting the body, and it's supplementing the body, it's replenishing those biochemicals, those natural biochemicals that it was intended to do. It's doing it in a remarkably successful way, and it's doing it without a downside.
So a good bone health not necessarily mean that you can stand up and walk. A good bone health means that you are also supporting other various vital functions in your body, such as the gastrointestinal function, such as the detoxification function through your liver and through your kidneys, and for your brain function to have proper sleep, proper alertness, proper thinking, and so on.
OsteoDenx is all natural, it's safe, it's effective, it's putting back into your body natural biochemicals that your body knows, that it welcomes, and that it utilizes to its fullest.